Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video on MetaPlanet. We want to talk about MetaPlanet, obviously one of the most relevant Bitcoin treasury business company charts. We want to talk about that. Before we do that in detail, though, I want to take a look at the Bitcoin chart itself. It's important to see these, to view these as one. Very important because not necessarily as one, that's not the right wording, but they are kind of related, of course, yeah, with MetaPlanet being a very young chart, okay, and there isn't really a lot of chart history, so of course it will depend to a large degree on Bitcoin, of course. Yeah, that's just we have to take every chart on its own. However, the crypto sector, especially Bitcoin, obviously plays a huge role there for a treasury company. And what we are dealing with on the Bitcoin chart is potentially a major top. I mean, it's absolutely possible that a substantial price top is formed on the Bitcoin chart in August. And then, we're basically tracking here a move to the downside. I mean, I am tracking this as an ABC structure to the downside. A, B, C. There are other pathways here that the market can take, right? But what we're tracking is certainly here an ABC structure to the downside where the C wave could get one more low. Alternatively, you could say that wave C of A could get one more low. Alternatively, the A wave already bottomed. You will see something very similar on the MetaPlanet chart. And the nearest resistance area that we're tracking is located between $92,588 and $101,057. So basically against that resistance area, and we're looking at the chart from an Elliott wave point of view, against that resistance area, the pressure is downward. So the market can easily form one more low. If we, however, see a break above 101,057, we can see it go higher in what would be a B wave. But again, very important, the B wave is likely only part of an A, B, C structure. Now, I see the possibility for surprises here. And we should never be surprised by the market. There is the potential that we are still in a bullish market. There are actually a few scenarios that could still play out. But first of all, without a break above resistance and without a 5-wave move up, I don't have any evidence for that. And the move to the upside looks super, super choppy here overall, yeah, on the Bitcoin chart. So I think at the moment at least, and we have to pay very close attention to the microstructure over the coming weeks, at the moment at least, another low remains very likely. If anything changes, I would, of course, let you know. Now, let's take a look at the MetaPlanet chart on the TSE exchange. That's the home exchange for MetaPlanet. I said it's a young chart. I mean, there is some history, but it's basically useless for us because this was before Bitcoin. And we can really only start to consider the chart after the 2023 lows. And the concern here is, and that is why we can't fully trust it by itself. It is only a 3-wave move up. A 3-wave move up, which looks actually complete. So I think we talked about that in one of the last updates, that this is an ABC structure to the upside. And of course, the market can always find a way maybe to extend once more. But this does look like a 5-wave decline. So from an Elliott wave point of view, we do have a 5-wave decline. So while on the Bitcoin chart, this does look like 3 waves down, on the MetaPlanet chart, it looks like 5 waves down. But there are some differences here because Bitcoin made a new high in August and October. Well, MetaPlanet hasn't really done that, okay? So we've seen an ongoing decline and then a bit of a bounce from the 21st of November low like Bitcoin. I think it's not even the 21st of November low, it's the 18th of November low, but that doesn't really make a difference. So from the November low, very close to Bitcoin's swing low, we started a bounce. And as per previous updates, this could finally be a bounce in a B wave, yeah, or a wave 2. So I'm not taking a bullish stance here, not directly bullish at least. I view this as a 5-wave decline. Now, like on the Bitcoin chart, I cannot rule out one more low. I mean, any further downside from here would simply be an extension of the A wave or the wave 1. We would simply see this as, or view this as an extension of that wave 1 to the downside. All right, it wouldn't really change too much. It would just be a wave 1 extension to the downside, or wave A. Wouldn't change the structure. It would impact the resistance area, which would then shift to the downside. At the moment, resistance is measured based on the distance of the top in June to the low in November. And we talk about resistance between $656 and $1,385. $1,345. It's not dollars. It's on the TSE exchange. Now, if we get a bounce from here, it could be a B wave. Like on the Bitcoin chart, what I'm tracking, like the yellow scenario on the Bitcoin chart, could be a B wave here. So, as I said, I can't rule out one more low. So, it's possible this is just a wave 4 bounce as on the Bitcoin chart. But as I said, the structure itself is a bit different. It's a bit different. It's even a bit weaker than Bitcoin itself. I mean, if we look at this from the top there in June, it declined a whopping 82%. I don't see it as a bullish chart, I gotta say it. We could get a bounce in wave B or wave 2. And if that happens, the door opens, to that resistance area between 656 to 1345, especially with ongoing upside momentum. I don't see a clear long trade setup here as such. What I would like to see, though, is a wider ABC structure, a bounce that might be corrective, and then a C wave decline. And eventually, after that C wave, the chart could attempt to form a meaningful low. Yeah. So that's how I see MetaPlanet at the moment. Important to understand that the move to the upside here from that swing low in November looks like a clear 3-wave advance. So it might be the A wave. We might get a B wave bounce at some point and then a C wave move up. I can give you micro support, which is located here. It's between 362 and 421. Now, there is a similar chart, and don't get confused. This is MetaPlanet on the in USD, but only OTC. MTPLF is the ticker in US dollars. And here you see we don't even have a lot of chart history, so this is even more speculative. Also here, I'm considering the bounce could be a B wave with resistance between 746 and 1050. But like on the other chart I just showed you, one more low is possible in 5 waves, and then this would be a 5-wave decline. So it's less chart history, less to work with. The immediate resistance is between 329 and 534. I do not expect a direct breakout to all-time highs from here. Not at the moment, also not on the 3350 chart. So that's the update on MetaPlanet. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.